Good evening and welcome to Rebels Radio latest interview. I'm once again joined by Jon Underwood.
Evening, John.
We are reflecting on a defeat a few hours ago at home to Rugby. Let's start by talking about the team selection. Obviously, Simpton came in for Woosley, who was unavailable. The only change, were you happy going into the game with the team?
Yeah, I mean, we played very, very well, obviously, at Ashford last week. Woos was unavailable, so... it was a straight swap. Dan coming in at centre back, so it was a fairly straightforward team selection from us. And I think we spoke before about Guy. Guy's captained us before, so it was again, quite an easy decision for us to make.
And Rugby came in and did a little bit what commonly we've talked about Slough doing to other teams before. They had a really bright start. Towers was particularly lively down the right, hit the bar after only a few minutes. Somerville on a number of occasions was called in. Was it them being good, or were we slightly off it?
I think you've got to give credit to them. I thought they played very well today. For whatever reason, we weren't at the levels that we have been for a while now. I mean, we've been on a fantastic run. But you're right, we never really got going at the start, and they did start well. I mean, Jake Somerville was outstanding first half. I think if it wasn't for him, we'd have certainly gone behind before we scored, and it could have been a very different game. No, I mean, Jake was fantastic today, but yeah, we looked a little bit sluggish, a little bit on the back foot. They looked a little bit brighter than we did, which obviously was disappointing for us.
And Lake Gaskin seemed to be kind of dropping deep, picking up the ball in that gap, almost between kind of where the midfield, where McClurg and Short were sitting, and seeming to kind of get in and amongst it and get a lot of the ball early on. Yeah,
he's a good player. I know when we spoke in the preview, we talked about the front two. We're very aware of how good they are, and they played very well today. One thing they don't have is not the biggest of front players, but I thought even where that was concerned, I thought they put themselves about. They never made it easy for our centre halves, and they both played very well today. And like I said, they deserved to win the game.
They seemed, as you say, kind of just to have that edge. And in the 50-50s, Slough were coming off second best. It almost seemed like Rugby wanted a little bit more.
Yeah, I can see how it looked like that. I mean, I can only tell you, this is so important to all of us in the changing room. And if you'd have seen us in the changing room before the game and in the warm-up, everybody was fully pumped up for the game. That doesn't always translate onto the pitch. At all levels, you see teams in important games where, for whatever reason, they don't play at the level that they can. And it's not about desire. It's not about wanting to win. I can understand how it looks that way, because one team looked just a bit sharper, and they looked a bit sharper than we did all round the pitch. And there's reasons why we think that might be, or there's excuses that you can make. But at the end of the day, we've lost a game of football. We've been on a fantastic run, 13 wins out of 15, and at some point you're going to have a flat game. And people who probably don't understand the game so well will probably think, well, how can you have a flat game when it's so big? But it's not, as I say, it's not about desire. It's not about wanting to win. Those boys were desperate to win.
Yeah, it wasn't the intention of anyone to go in and put a poor performance. I don't think any player would want to go out there in a Slough jersey and not play well.
No, exactly. We just had a bad day.
And it started off a little bit difficult with, obviously, Ryan Parsons getting injured in the 17th minute, and there wasn't, unfortunately, that much defensive cover on the bench, which meant that Dobbo came in at left back, which was, I think, a challenge.
Yeah, we were a little bit light defensively on the bench. I mean, Dobbo's played left back before, and with his pace and obviously the pace of Towers, we decided to drop him in there and just bring Jake on in front of him. And I think Dobbo's he's played there, but I think he's not played there for a while. Certainly not recently. And it's difficult. It's a different game. It's a very different game. And I thought positionally at times he just got caught out a little bit. And that's not a criticism. He was doing a job for us, and he gave 100% as he has every time he's played for us. But it wasn't ideal to have to drop him in at left back. No. And yeah, that affected us. That certainly didn't help, because Ryan Parsons is a big player for us.
Yeah, and chances were slightly few and far between to what Slough Towns are used to. But then when there was a chance, boy, did Jamie McClure take it. What a great goal that was.
Yeah, it was a fantastic strike. We've seen him do it once before. He did it for us last season at Godalming. Similar strike, keeper off his line. Great technique to hit it like that. And I mean, to be fair, at that point, I don't think we deserved to go in front. We'd had a good chance with Warren Harris, got in. Keeper made a brilliant save, and then he saved the rebound from Dobson as well. That was our best chance. It was a good chance. But yeah, I think I think it would be unfair to say we deserved the lead at that point. But we would at that stage we'd take a goal however it came, and it was a great strike.
And then off for half-time, it seemed like Rugby were having a couple of questions asked of the ref. I think it was Richard Blythe and one of the management team were kind of confronting the referee at half-time. Do you know what that was about?
I don't know. Someone said to me that they thought there was a foul on the keeper in the build-up to Jamie's goal. I honestly didn't see it if it was. So it may have been that. I can't think what else it would be.
No, the only other thing I could have thought was perhaps if in one of those goalmouth scrambles when Somerville did amazingly well to keep it off the right side of the line, whether there was any contact in between players in the box, whether they saw it differently to the referee.
Yeah, not sure.
So what did you say at half-time then?
I think, the lads weren't happy at half-time with how we'd been playing. We tried to kind of draw a line under the half in terms of our performance because it hadn't been at the levels that we're used to. I think we said we got we're lucky we're in front. Probably. I don't think they were miles better than us first half. I thought they probably had the better chances, and Jake, as I said, at times kept us in it. We just talked about it being a huge 45 minutes in our season, and that they had to fight for everything. We pointed out a couple of dangers that we felt they were getting at us, and we talked about that. We wanted us to show a little bit more composure on the ball. Sometimes when you're not playing well and you're under a bit of pressure, when you win the ball, you're then too hurried to get it away and rather than relax on the ball. And I just felt we could have talked better at times and shown a little bit more composure when we actually had time. And we didn't pass it as well as we can today. That was clear.
No. And then the second half kind of continued in the same vein as the first half. Rugby were quite dominant, and then they actually made most of it. Somerville was helpless on the first goal, a great flick by Kolodinsky, and then his partner in crime, Lake Gaskin, got in on the action as well. After 60 minutes, so 2 goals in 5 minutes really changed the momentum of the game. Yeah,
the first one, I mean, I've not had a chance to see it, obviously, but just from what I remember, the first one, I don't think I could really single anyone out. It was a bit of an opportunist strike, really, a little clever flick from him. That's what he does. The second one was very disappointing. It was one big kick from the keeper who'd been kicking well all game, and he got in behind. Lake Gaskin got in behind. He took a brilliant touch and it was a great finish, but he shouldn't be getting in off one straight keeper's kick like that. And it wasn't down to Jake. I think you've got to look at the centre halves there, and we got caught underneath the ball, and that was a very, very avoidable goal, which was obviously disappointing to concede.
And then conceding and going a goal behind, did you anticipate a response?
You'd like to think so, yeah. I mean, we've got character in our team, and I think there was still plenty of time at that point. At that point, a draw's not a bad result for us, and the message was, stay in the game and see if we can get one. We've always got goals in us. We've scored 99 goals now this season. We know we've got goals in us, so we needed to try and obviously stop them getting a third and stay in the game and try and get an equaliser, because a point would have been a great result in the scheme of things today. But obviously the sending off quite soon after the second goal, I believe it was 5 minutes, I think, after the goal, killed us really. I'm not gonna criticise Eddie, because I wasn't even looking at the incident, and until we've seen a video of it, he says the keeper made a meal of it. It's one of those. I'm not going to criticise him because I didn't see it myself. It came at a crucial time in the game, and it gave us a real tough mountain to climb. In fact, Johnny had just picked up a knock, so we ended up losing both of our forwards in the same minute. And obviously Adam had to go up there on his own. We got Warren up to support him, but they were the better side, 11v11. So 11v10, it was always going to be tough. And again, the message was, let's stay in the game. We tried to use every chance we could to throw a ball in, whether it be a throw-in or a free kick, and just hope that something would fall for us. And it didn't. It wasn't our day, and they got the win they deserved.
And going back just quickly to the sending off, obviously that then means that Ed potentially would be suspended for the player final if there was ifs.
Yeah,
That's got to be a little bit of a disappointment. Are you going to be reviewing potentially any video that the cameraman took to appeal it or anything like that?
Yeah, we'll definitely have a look. Gut feel is that knowing where the camera is and where the incident was, I think it's going to be very difficult. If he is innocent, it's going to be very difficult to prove that. You've got to be really clear on these things on a camera. So, obviously we'll have a look at it, and if there's, if there is a case there, we'll go with it. But I think the chances are slim. Just thinking about the angle he would have had, I think it's going to look like he put his foot in, which I understand he did. The keeper was obviously delaying picking the ball up, as goalkeepers do, and they're entitled to do. And and it's going to be very hard to see whether Eddie caught him or not.
So, moving forward now, what's the latest injury situation?
Ryan Parsons has kind of tweaked a hamstring. We don't know how serious that is. He'll have no chance for Monday. Hoping it's not too serious, but I guess best case is I think he'd struggle for next Saturday. We've got to get ourselves in the playoffs, and then maybe for the playoff semi. But we'll have to monitor how he is over the next few days. Johnny came off with a knock. I think he had a little pull in his. I think it was in his thigh area. So I know Kev was seeing him. They're the two. Obviously, they're the two. Ryan will definitely be out. We're hoping Johnny will be okay for Monday. Obviously, if he's not, we've got Adam Cornell. So we've got a ready-made replacement. So everybody else should be fine. We've already organised, obviously Ben Edwards will be available Monday, so Ben will come into the squad. And we've also got Wes Harrison, who we kept his registration. Obviously he's not been playing, but Wes is going to come back into the squad for Monday as well. So we'll have an extra defender in the squad. And we'll just see how the lads are. We'll talk to a few of them tomorrow, and we'll go ahead and pick a team. Now, we've got to pick ourselves up now because, as I said, we've been on an incredible run. All we've done today is lost a game of football against a very good side. We can't feel sorry for ourselves. Come Monday night, we could be in the playoffs. If we win at Aylesbury and Rugby beat Barton, it's all ifs. But those two results aren't out of the question. If those two things happen, we're in the playoffs. So we've got to be positive. There's no point in feeling sorry for ourselves. Sometimes it's good to get another game so quickly. So it's up to the lads now to, dust themselves down and go again. There's no time to feel sorry for ourselves.
How was the changing room at the end of the 90 minutes? I can imagine there was a few kind of heavy heads going off the pitch at the end, and I know how much these boys want to win every single game. How was the atmosphere? Yeah,
the lads were quite low. They knew they hadn't performed. So you have different types of defeats. Sometimes you lose a game and you feel hard done by, and we didn't feel hard done by today. We got the result we deserved. We didn't deserve to get anything from the game. Everyone's taken a huge amount of praise, deservedly so, over the last few months for the run we've been on. We've all taken that as a group, and any criticism that comes our way today is justified. But we don't suddenly become a poor side. We've had a bad day. You judge a team sometimes on how they react to those types of days, and I fully expect us to bounce back with a positive display Monday. You can't guarantee results, but I know we'll be hurting. I know we can't wait for Monday to come round, and we need to put it right.
One of the potential criticisms that I heard wandering around was potentially lacking leadership, lacking voices out there. Was that something that you will be talking to the lads about?
Yeah, I thought we looked a bit quiet when we went behind. You've got to look at it. We're losing. We haven't got our skipper Adam Fowler. Woos, who's been fantastic as skipper recently, was missing. Ben Edwards, another experienced player. I know he hasn't played a lot, but we've had Woos there, and we haven't necessarily needed Ben's experience. We didn't have him, and Ryan Parsons, probably the next most experienced player, goes off early with an injury. So that's making excuses really. We still need more from the other players, and Yeah, I'd say maybe the one criticism was that I felt we looked a little bit quiet and a little bit sorry for ourselves when we went 2-1 down. Very hard. We didn't have a chance to get a reaction. They had a player sent off so soon afterwards that we had three big, both 2 goals and a sending off in the space of maybe 10 minutes, and that was quite tough to take. And I think we did have a go. I think we had a go with 10 men. We got a lot of balls into the box.
There was a penalty shout towards the end.
Yeah, there was. Very hard from where we were to see whether that was or not. I know the crowd jumped up, but that's what all crowds do. I couldn't see from where I was, but we had a couple of half chances where things didn't quite fall for us, and on another day we'd have nicked a point and been absolutely delighted with that, but it didn't come today.
But the crowd, talking of them, there was a huge in number. Both rugby contingent made their voices well heard, and obviously Slough had a fantastic turnout. It was all set up to be a great day for football.
Yeah. I mean, we said that these are the games you want to play in. It's great to have a crowd of 400. As someone pointed out, I think we've had our biggest crowds this season. We haven't played well. I'm sure those two things aren't linked. It's just the way it's gone. So yeah, I mean, it would have been a great day if we could have won today in front of that big crowd. It would have been a brilliant day. Would have been sat here now, on top of the world, but it's not to be. But we have to remember it's one game, and these lads have done brilliantly. We've been playing under pressure for the last few months with so few lives that we knew we could give away, and they've gone into big games like Royston. We've gone behind against Royston and beat them. We've beaten Barton. We've beaten Dunstable. These lads have turned up in big games regularly and got the result. And today we didn't. And you're not gonna. It's not gonna happen for you every time. And sometimes you've got to give credit to the opposition. I thought they played very well today, and I'm quite level-headed about it, and the players need to be. We've been in football long enough that you have days like this, and it is about how you respond. And I just can't wait for Monday.
No, the start of another run.
Exactly. 4 wins now would be nice.
Brilliant. Well, thank you ever so much for your time and being honest enough to front up and face some difficult questions at a time I'm sure all the fans will appreciate your thoughts and voice. Go away, have a consolatory beer, and we'll catch up on Monday.
Cheers, John.
Cheers.
See you Monday.